Okay, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second episode of Usipile on the platform. So, the first drop, I spoke a lot about how I just had an idea and I wanted to execute. So, I took my phone, I took my equipment, and I started recording, but I didn't have a name for the platform, of which, when I was busy editing and trying to get the video ready for this episode for YouTube, I realized I kept referring to the platform as the platform, and because I didn't really have a great name for it, so I thought to myself, my name is Usipile and I want to create a platform. Therefore, I'm gonna call the YouTube page Usipile on the platform. And that's how the name came about. So, welcome back to the second episode. If you are new to the channel, thank you for viewing. If you're a new viewer or a new subscriber, thank you so much for coming through and giving us a listen. If you are someone who's subscribed from the first episode, welcome back. And also, thank you for the subscription and thank you for the view. I really do appreciate it. Today we have a few things. There's a few things I want to cover, right? And this episode is going to be a lot more reflective as opposed to like bringing in new information. The first part that I want to touch on is on the platform. My initial goal was to drop every week. So every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I was supposed to release an episode of Usipile on the platform. Because I think there's a lot of conversations that we still need to share and things that we still need to talk about. So this is 2 weeks later. What happened? There's a lot that happened, and those are the things that I will touch on in this episode. Like briefly, some of them we'll talk about them in the future. We still have a long way to go. I do apologize for the late episode. Going forward, I will try my very best to have the episodes ready by Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So with that being said, I want to kickstart this episode. Like I said, it's going to be reflective. I want to kickstart this episode by posing a question to you, right? So when you go on the page now, if you go on the YouTube page, you're going to see numbers. You're going to see the number of subscribers for the channel. You're going to see the numbers of views in the first video. You're going to see the number of likes. They don't show dislikes anymore. So you're going to see the number of likes and you're going to see the number of comments. So just at face value, when you go to the channel right now, you go and click, you're going to see these things. And I want to read out, in the moment that I'm recording this episode, I want to read out the numbers that you would probably be seeing if you were the first person to view the episode at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. So the number of views is 75. The number of subscribers is 18. The number of likes for the video is 12. And the number of comments on the video is 10. Right? So 75 views, 18 subscribers, 12 likes on the first video, the first episode, and 10 comments on the first episode. Now, before I break these numbers down, I want you to just go back, like at the back of your mind, and think to yourself, if you were to go view the channel now, considering the fact that it's the first episode, I didn't really have time for promo. I literally recorded a few days before I released it. I had the promo videos just before the release date. And then I posted the video, and I haven't really pushed it a lot in the last 2 weeks. So think to yourself, would you consider those numbers to be successful, or would you consider them quite low and maybe the first episode was a failure? Just before I break them down, like at face value, say now you go to the channel and that's what you see. What would come to your mind, right? Okay, so keep that thought and we'll get back to it in a few moments. I have prep this week. I have a bit of prep this week, unlike the other week where I was literally just going off what is coming to my mind and just speaking throughout the whole 18 minutes. So today I have a bit of a prep just so that I can know what I'm talking about and cover the important parts. Obviously, it's not scripted, so I don't really know what I'm going to say next, but just so that I have a structure in terms of what I want to touch on and why I want to touch on those things, right? So I was the plan was to drop every 2 weeks. Sorry, every week. So every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, I was supposed to release an episode of Usipile on the platform. Last week, there wasn't a drop. Last time I dropped was the 1st of February, and on the 8th of February, there was nothing on the channel. Did I forget to record and release? No. Were there technical difficulties? No. Was I going through a lot? And was I challenged? Yes. So, here's the thing about a journey. And I'll speak from my experience in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I have past experiences and references, but just in the last 2 weeks, everyone tells you, and even like on the thumbnail, the video's thumbnail, I wrote there, the hardest part is getting started and stuff, right? Everyone tells you, once you just get started, which is great. The idea of it is awesome. Just get started, because you don't want to overthink things to a point where you don't end up executing at all, which is where I've been multiple times in the past. So this idea, Usipile on the platform, is an idea that I've been keeping for the last few years. Like I said in the first episode, I was part of 3 guys that hosted a podcast by the name of The Alpha Show. The podcast had a lot of episodes, I think about 14 episodes. It was great. It was nice. We had plans to expand. However, life happened, right? So after that, I'd been meaning to come back to the podcasting game and to talk, in front of the camera, behind the mic, for the last few years. And nothing really came to life, up to a point I was like, no, you know what, let me just get started. I don't want to overthink it. Let me just do it. So I was like, that's the biggest obstacle to overcome for me. So I overcame that obstacle. I recorded. I got the audio ready, got the video ready, posted it on YouTube, created the channel, posted it on Anchor FM, it's on Spotify. And yet I realized there was another mountain to overcome. And that very big mountain was, now you've started, you have to be consistent. Yes, I recorded the first episode. Yes, I was nervous. Yes, I was scared. What is the outcome going to be like? What are people going to say? Are people going to like it? Is it even a good idea? Is it worth sharing to the people? And you could see it in the first video. While I was talking and recording, I had a moment where I thought to myself, maybe I should actually just stop recording. Right? But I got over it. I uploaded the video and I was like, okay, now what? Because now I have to record the second video. I promised people that I'm going to remain true to myself and all these other things, and they're expecting me to release a second episode. What is it going to be about? How long is it going to be? What are people going to say? Are people going to like it? Do they actually want it? Should I post it or should I keep it? I got into a space where now I got over the mountain of getting started, but then I could not be consistent because I had a lot of self-doubt. So self-doubt came through and said, hey, my guy, they told you that I'd be gone after you get started, right? It's just going to be easier from there because you're going to take the second step and the third step and the fourth step. But now I'm here. I really got into my head. I remember I set up to record the second episode. I sat behind this cell phone. I put up lighting and I just did not know what to speak about. I just didn't know what to say. And it was terrible because I realized in that moment that, or rather I thought to myself, am I fully prepared for what's yet to come? Am I now responsible for what people are going to be consuming? And how much of that responsibility am I willing to take on? Because like I said, this platform is going to be a storytelling platform. People are going to be coming here to share their stories. I'm going to be sharing my stories. I'm going to be sharing other people's stories on this platform. So how much of that am I willing to take on? Because not everyone that's going to come here will have the same story. Not everyone that's going to come here is going to share a story that I have been exposed to before. Will I be able to handle it? So it got to me. I switched off the lights. I took my phone and I went about my life. And I just didn't know how to go about recording the second episode. Self-doubt crippled me completely. And now it's a Monday. It was a Monday. And I have not posted anything about the episode that should be coming out on the 8th, which is the Wednesday. My sister says to me, "Is the episode ready for Wednesday?" And I say no. And then she says, "No, what do you mean? I've already told people that the episode is dropping on Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So where is it?" And I'm like, yo, okay. I don't have the episode. When Tuesday comes, and I'm thinking, should I record now just so that I can post on Wednesday? I don't do it. Wednesday comes, and 6 o'clock hits. And I remember feeling like I had failed. It was over. It was done. People waited for the episode. That's what I'm thinking. People that actually watched the content were expecting the episode to come out. But there was nothing. I had failed. It was over. I might as well delete the first video. I might as well remove the channel. Because why am I even keeping this thing up anymore if I can't be consistent, right? It had me, and at that moment I felt it was over. I was done with the channel, and there was a lot of other things that were happening in my life, and I thought it was all happening at the same time. And maybe it was a sign, maybe me being unable to record the second episode was a sign, and everything else that had been happening around me, it was a sign, So I lost all the will to record the episode. It was gone. And I think that's one thing that I don't. Maybe people do talk about. Maybe people do speak about. But that's one of the things about starting anything, is you have to be consistent, and it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of effort to be consistent, because now you've started, you've set the expectation, and now you're trying to build on that. At least that's how it felt. And I realized, you know what, man, this whole platform is about storytelling. This platform is about talking about your day, your week, your life, your dog, your family, your friends. So the conversation never really ends, And I've put an expectation on myself to say, I want to drop every week. However, if there comes a time where I'm unable to drop every week, that's also okay. I can still come back and try again, And I think that's the beautiful thing about what getting started is all about, is that if you fall, you can still try again. And consistency is basically just trying again. And every time you try, or every time you take the next step, you're just getting better. And that's something that I had to sit down with myself and consolidate and remind myself about. Dude, it's not about how many episodes you're going to be dropping. Yes, that's your target, which is great. However, this is not going to be a smooth sailing journey whereby now every week you have the drive, and you have the to record, and to have the episodes ready and to edit, because at the end of the day I am doing everything on my own at this point. So it's not about that. It's not about it being smooth after the first step. It's just about you having to learn that, okay, Sharp, you know what, now that I've gotten started, what can I do next to be a bit better? Even if it's like like a small percentage of the previous episode, how do I get better? And even if it's not better, how do I take the second step and the next step and the next step and the next step, someone has told me that as humans, we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what we can do in 5 and 10 years. And I think that's very important because I overestimated what I could do in 1 week, in 1 month. 1 month, 4 episodes. But I'm underestimating what I could do in 1 year. They say I drop 1 episode every year. That's 12 episodes. And if I stop today, I only dropped 1 episode. But if I'm dropping 2 episodes a month, that's 24 episodes in 1 year. But if I stop because I was like, I missed out on the opportunity to post on the 8th, then I've only dropped 1 episode. So I think that's something that I think everybody can take in whatever journey that you are going to be taking on, in life in general, is that you might take the L earlier, far earlier than you expect. Sometimes we think it's going to be easier at first, and then the L will come along the way. You might take the L just as you get started, which is fine. 4, get back up and continue. Okay? So, yeah, like I said, there's a lot to talk about, especially with regards to the things that are happening around me. There's a lot that I would like to share on that, but that's fine for the next time. We still have a long way to go, but it was mostly around the concept of loss and not losing like the L in terms of like not being able to record the episode, but the concept of loss. And I think that's a very broad topic that I would really like to dive into and talk about, because I've struggled with the concept of loss in the past, just understanding it. I don't think I've fully grasped it now, but I understand it a bit better than I did before, which is what growth is about and what life is about. And the second layer to that concept of loss is a lot of people, or we always talking about self-awareness, right? Self-awareness. Just become self-aware and whatever. It's great for human interaction and being a better person in society, etc., etc., which is good. It's very important for us to be self-aware. Know yourself, know your downfalls, know your weaknesses, know your strengths, know how you behave in certain situations and stuff. But I think another facet that people don't really speak about when it comes to self-awareness is sometimes there's a false sense of self-awareness. And with that false sense of self-awareness might come, or not necessarily a false sense of self-awareness, but with the self-awareness might come then the con that is self-sabotage. Because you know yourself so much, it becomes easier for you to sabotage the things that matter to you the most, for whatever reason. Like I said, I think we'll talk about it I'll talk about it a bit more in the next few episodes. I don't want to make this too long. Someone already said to me, "I'm so glad that the first episode wasn't too long," and I was like, fair. But I can't promise you that they're all going to be short. This episode might actually be an hour. Who knows? We'll see, right? But that's something that I want you to just hold on to. Those things, the concept of loss and self-awareness. And the next layer being self-awareness and the downside to self-awareness, right? Yeah. And if you have, like I said, because this is such a conversational platform, this is not on live, so I don't see your comments in real time. I can't respond. But please, if you have any comments or opinions on this, do speak to me. Speak to me on the side. You can send me a text. You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can find me on the social media platforms. I will create a social media platform like an Instagram account for Usipilo on the platform, because I don't really want it to be like on my personal page, especially if it's yet to grow to become something bigger than what I would be able to like control and stuff, So it's something just to hold on to, and you can share your opinions, and I'll get into it in the next episodes. So now when I started, I gave you numbers. I gave you the number of views and whatever, and what you would see if you like right now. If you go onto this YouTube channel, and you see the numbers, that's what you're gonna be seeing. The views might have changed a bit, a little bit, and like the subscribers and stuff. But those are the numbers in this very moment, right? And I asked you, do you think those numbers are successful, or do you think they're not successful? And because you didn't really have a lot of information, you probably made your decision. Well, either, yes, I think those are good numbers because, 70, 75 views in the first 2 weeks, with limited promo and whatever. Or you might feel like, nah, man, I think 100 views would have been an achievement, or 150 or 200 views, or blah, blah, blah. But whatever your response, or your decision was, if it's a yes or if it's a no, in terms of success, now I want to break those numbers even further. So the upside of having the YouTube channel, that I get to see the breakdown. So I don't see 77 or 75 or 12 or 18. I get to see a proper breakdown of how many people actually viewed the channel and for how long they viewed the episode. Viewed the episode, and how long they viewed the episodes, which moments in the episodes had the most views and which moments had the least views, because people can fast forward, right? And also how many people started watching the episode and got bored along the way, or could not finish the episode for whatever reason. I think there's a lot more context behind the numbers, obviously, but I have a lot more insight. So I want to share those with you. So the total number of views is, from what I saw on the other side, it's 77. The total watch time is 3.9 hours. The average viewing percentage is 16.8%. And the video is about 18 minutes. So the average viewing time is 3 minutes. So of that 18 minutes, on average, the amount of time or minutes that we watched was 3 minutes. And 25% of people, so this could be considered like channel suicide or whatever. But I just want to give you guys a proper breakdown, because things aren't always as they look at face value. Having the number of views is great to send the idea that, okay, there's success here, so then you should come back and follow, which is great. But I think I will explain to you why I'm breaking the numbers down. 25% got to 6 minutes, right? 14% got to 10 minutes of the episode. 11% finished the episode. So 25% got to 6 minutes, 14% got to 10 minutes, and 11% got to watch the full video. So 11%. So 11% of 75 views is about 8 people. So if you see 75 views, only 8 people watch the full clip. How many comments do I have there? I have 10 comments if you go see. However, 5 of those comments are me responding to the people that commented on the video. So there's 5 comments. And how many in-person engagements have I had since the episode released? And in-person might be on WhatsApp, someone talking about it outside of the platform. I've counted 3. 3 now. It was 2 when I wrote this prep. So what does this mean? Why am I bringing these numbers up? Because it's nicer to have the idea to send the idea to people that the channel is very successful. More successful than they imagined, right? But I bring this up because, like I said, for me, I value the conversations. I value people's insights. I'm a very reserved person. Naturally, like the people that have interacted with me will tell you, naturally, I'm a very reserved person, and I'm not one to initiate a conversation unless I'm in a very good mood, which is very odd. But the moment I see an opportunity to have a great conversation, I'm engaged. And a great conversation for me is the conversation that I'll have. And the moment I walk away from the conversation, I feel, oof, I got something from there. That was really nice. It was meaningful. That for me is what a great conversation is. So I bring these numbers up because for me, the face value numbers don't matter. I mean, obviously for the sake of the channel, because it has to grow on YouTube for it to be able to place it and create an opportunity for people's stories, because it's not just about me, for those stories to be heard by more people. That's what I would want for the channel. That's why I will talk about the numbers, you know. It's not that they boosting my ego, like, oh, if I have 100 views, they boost my ego, or if you have 20 subscribers and stuff, that's boost. It's not. It's just about, because I mean, there's a system that exists which we can't avoid. So I want to find a way that I can exist in that system in a way that benefits the stories that we'll be sharing here, because those stories are quite important, and they're very like, I think they're quite meaningful for a lot of people. Otherwise, people wouldn't really be sharing them. So I talk about these numbers because for me, those numbers, the comments, the subscribers, the views. Okay, the comments, I'll put aside. The views, the subscribers, and whatever. Those for me don't matter. If there was no value in the conversation, then I need to know that. And I need to review and see where I'm going wrong or how I can improve, which is how life usually works. You try something out, you see it doesn't work, and you improve. So for anyone viewing this right now, and if you've gotten this far, kudos. I would really appreciate for you to not hold back on the feedback, the truest form of feedback, not I'm proud of you, I'm happy for, you know, whatever. I mean, that's also great. But if you do have something in you that you want to say to me to help me improve, please don't hold back. I do appreciate constructive criticism a lot, because I think, you know, I want to grow. I want to be a better version of myself. And I think it's going to benefit the channel. It's going to benefit the people that come onto the channel eventually. So don't hold back. Don't not comment because you're thinking that you're going to hurt my feelings. And it's not a positive thing that you'd like to share. Share it. Say it as it is. It's up to me to take it in and process and then improve on the output. So yeah, and yeah, man. I think we underestimate the power that comes with giving someone like something that they're not expecting to hear. And for me, I'm not expecting to hear that, oh, you're doing great because you started the platform or you did the audio and blah, blah, blah. I don't like, the praise is great, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this just so that we're able to share stories, and the stories do have a value. Yeah, bro. So with that being said, think about it like this as I conclude this episode. Like I've watched many movies before, and I have a few. When someone asks, "What's your favorite movie?" There's a few that come to the top of my mind, and I wasn't paid to tell people about those movies. There's no real benefit talking about those movies. However, because I found value in them, I choose to share them. And for anyone that will be sharing this platform, I would like you to have the same feel. Share the platform, whether you're sharing it on Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, wherever. Share the platform because it means something to you, and not because you think you owe it to me, because you don't. So with that being said, thank you so much to everyone who has viewed. Thank you to those who started, might not have finished. And thank you to those who commented. Thank you to those who spoke to me outside of YouTube and social media. And the feedback that I've received, I do hope that you find value in what I have to offer. and you draw some inspirations in the stories that will be shared on this platform. And yeah, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much. I will see you again in episode number 3, which I'm hoping will be next week. This is going to drop on the 15th. So the following week will be the 22nd of February. So that is the date for the next drop. If it doesn't come on that date, we'll talk. But that's the date that I'm hoping we're going to drop the next episode. So thank you so much. Usiphile on the platform. And please note, the stories shared on this platform are based on a true story. And that story could be yours.